Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here. On the night after the all-nighter, well, daytime, but I've had a good sleep. And yeah, a lot of people are saying different things online here about the result for reform, but you can't see it any other than, they took the biggest seat. The seat that was, meant to be so safe, for Labour, and they took that. Alright, it was only with 6 votes, but still. My attitude isn't going to change. Nothing's changed with me in Freedom Dad's world. You know what I mean? I've told you reform will be, Nigel Farage will be the next Prime Minister. Reform will get in power. The next election will be before the 4-year deadline or whatever 3-year left we've got. Yeah, so reform will be the next Labour. There's no two ways about it. They've very clever, very, very clever what they've done and how they've done it, so, but I'm not concerned, I keep on saying to you, because at the end of the day, reform will come into power, then they will show their hand, because everybody will be waiting, to see what reform will do, and I know exactly how that's going to play out. So yeah, we watch this because we learn from it. Other countries learn from it. What went on with the Bidens, what went on with the Clintons, what's going on with Starmer, what's going on with the Tories, everything they've done and not done. It's all recorded, factual, and stays in place when we go forward in the future, and it's in the past. That's when we see things a lot more clearly, guys. That's when we'll see by Tommy Robinson being locked up, how long he's been locked up for, how he's been persecuted all his life, all the attacks that's happened to him. And yeah, there's terrific stuff to happen to a young man from Luton who was just trying to warn us exactly what I'm trying to tell you now. And the exact same thing will probably happen to me that has happened to him. They'll try and black him a name and then eventually put me in prison. But at the end of the day, the reason why I do it is because I need you to know more than prison matters to me. And yes, I have got a 6-month-old baby girl, and it breaks my heart. Can't have her anywhere near me right now. And that's how much this means to me. My country, where we grew up, what we do. And you've got to understand this. There's so much, it's so dangerous, so dangerous in so many ways I cannot even start to tell you. But I'm going to explain to you why. Another reason why I'm doing this and why I'm still doing it, and why I'm going even harder. Because what I see now, logically, and it's always about what I see logically. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not into somebody telling me something and then me going with that. I'm talking about looking at life logically, guys. And I see communities. I'm in communities, and I'm seeing amazing work getting done with the young men in our communities. Absolutely amazing. And the men behind this, I've nothing but admiration for them. And in one of these particular cases, one of these men that has done so good for his community is being persecuted by our government. But I can't say nothing about that. But I will when the time is right, because it's wrong on so many levels. But just like Tommy Robinson, every other man that wants to speak out when he sees a concern in his community or a danger coming to his community, we speak out. And only the real men and the real women in this country, and both countries, will speak out. The ones that are silent, you make your own minds up about them. But I understand it's dangerous and everybody's got a lot to lose. I understand that. But there's people there who should be saying a lot more than they're not. There's people there and you should be saying a lot more than you're not. And your silence worries me. It worries me. It worries quite a lot of us. But all eyes are on you guys. The ball's in your court. We've got two comparisons. We've got one area that I grew up in, doing so well. I mean, thriving. Absolutely amazing. I'll bring it as I come forward. All the stuff and that's amazing work. Speaking to the younger men and their attitude, compared to what our attitude was at that age, night and day, in the right direction too. So it can't be done without the older guys passing down the right words of wisdom. No two ways about it. But you know, then I have another part of Belfast where I was born and bred. And, you know, the streets where I grew up and played, where we had the celebrations that I'm seeing in our other communities and the other places where I grew up. And it's changed. And it's changed because the demographic has changed in this particular area. So there's an area where I grew up in that now has changed. The demographic has changed. You know, the school is predominantly, I don't know whether it's Muslim, I haven't checked it out yet, or just people coming into the country, irregular, illegal or legal immigration. Doesn't matter to me. This is what the problem is, guys. This is what it's all about, right? This is, for anybody there, all the haters, all the newspaper people that are watching me and choking to bring out all sorts of shit about me. This is what it's all about. It's quite simple. As we can see, time and time again in the past, when certain people in the government bring foreigners into our country, they then vote for them. So when we have a system where the political vote is split up amongst so many different demographics and so many different political parties, both in Northern Ireland, Ireland and in England, then it's very important that only the people should be voting. It's not fair that a party like Labour can flood bring as many people in through the boats, not occur in the world. Like lifeguard are going out, bring them out, make sure everything's all good, getting phones, hotels, all that, not stopping. And that's just the boats. There's 10 times that coming in all other different ways. Please believe me. They like you talking about the boats because you're not looking anywhere else. But the point I'm trying to make is the reason why they're bringing them in and letting them in is because they vote for them. You know? So what happens is when we have a small fraction of our community, the far left, that don't like the values that we have, they're able to use people that they bring into our country to vote against us, where therefore we lose our values, we lose our right to vote. We would be a minority within years if it keeps going and we don't do something about it, because that's what it's all about. That's how it works. It's as simple as that. Why do you think what's going on in England? Why do you think there's so many people in politics right now in England? Why do you think Tommy Robinson is in prison right now in England? Why do you think Birmingham is the way it is? You know, it's not fair. It's not a fair system. It's not a fair system that you can have a small group, political party like Sinn Féin or any one of our parties that are working behind the scenes to allow this irregular immigration into our areas that have been divided for so long, and we've been through so much, and this is the last thing our community needs. And that's as simple as that. Right at this minute, we are not ready for this. What we're seeing in England, our people on the streets are not ready for this, and you're putting fear through the communities. You're putting fear through the communities. I'm hearing it on the streets and nobody is talking about it, and that's not fair. Nothing's fair. Where did the democracy go in this country? Nothing's been spoke about. Everything's being hushed-touched and kept quiet. And slowly we're seeing our areas change. Our schools in them areas change. How long is it before my Methodist church on the Donegal Road, where I've spent 8 years of my mother's life, the happiest 8 years of my life, how long before that's going to get turned into a mosque, just like it's happening in England? But yet, I go to other places and it's like it hasn't changed, and you know, they're targeting certain areas, and it's always outside the city centre. Every major city, it always starts in the city centre and works its way out slowly. And before you know it, they'll be voting, and they'll be voting for the people that were wanting them in and brought them in. And us guys here trying to protect what's coming, they will vote against us. And I'll be persecuted. You'll be persecuted. Your sons, your daughters, your grandchildren will all be persecuted going forward, because the far left and the deep state will be in complete control of Northern Ireland. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's really, really quite simple, you know. You don't need to be racist or far right. Feel like that, guys. And Freedom Dad. God bless.